Hi, and we hope that you find this short video on the SChemEs assessment useful.
The SChemEs assessment takes place towards the end of Semester B in the Foundations of Pharmaceutical Chemistry module.
So in this video we want to go through what to expect on the day in terms of the processes involved and what the environment is like, so that you can focus on the assessment when the time comes and ensure that you do your very best.
The first thing it's important to know is when your SChemEs assessment is going to take place. This information will be placed on the Foundations of Pharmaceutical Chemistry website as the time approaches. It's important to look carefully at this information because you won't necessarily be in the same group as you were for your practical classes. If for any reason there's a problem with the time and date you've been allocated, you need to contact the module lead as soon as possible so that they can arrange an alternative time.
On the day of the assessment, it's important that you arrive at the chemistry laboratories 10 minutes before your scheduled time. Also wear the appropriate clothing for the laboratory. So that means that you're wearing the appropriate footwear, that if you've got long hair that it's tied back, and if you wear a headscarf that you're wearing the university flame-proof headscarf. Safety goggles must be worn at all time. And you must bring with you a pen, a pencil, a ruler and a calculator into the test because these will be needed for some of the stations.
So when you are dressed and ready to go into the lab, but before you go into the lab, you will be assessed by a member of staff. And what they will be looking for is to make sure that you are dressed appropriately and that you have all of the equipment that you were requested to bring to the sessions. So you really need to make sure that you're on time, appropriately dressed and have all of the equipment which is required so that you score 100% on this section of the assessment.
When you're ready to enter the lab, making sure that you're wearing your safety goggles, you will find that there are a large number of staff waiting in the laboratory. This is a little different to what you find in a typical laboratory session, but it's just that for the SChemEs assessment a lot of staff are needed. Each station has a number and you will be given a number for the station that you are to start with. There is a clamp at each station that holds the number, so please move quickly and quietly when you enter the lab to your allocated station. When you get to the station, have a seat. There will also be a member of staff waiting who is assessing that station. You will notice a piece of paper that is turned face down at the station, and there will also be some equipment that you will need to use during the assessment. Don't turn the page over until you have been instructed to do so. So the member of staff who is introducing the assessment will give a brief introduction and then they will blow their whistle. This indicates the start of the station.
It's important to realise that during your SChemEs assessment, the majority of the stations that you complete, there will be a member of staff who is observing you. They are there to award you marks rather than to take marks off you. And if you can focus on the task at hand, rather than be put off by them observing you, you'll do much better in your assessment. As the assessment progresses, what will happen is an announcement will be made when there is 1 minute remaining. Again, when this announcement is made, don't panic. You'll have 1 minute after that to complete the station. If you've already finished, you should use this time to make sure that you've written down everything that you want to be assessed. If you haven't finished, again, work through methodically, clearly and carefully to ensure that you get as many marks as possible from the assessment. After the minute has expired, you'll be asked to stop writing. At this point, it's important to have put your name, your student registration number, and any other information that is required at the top of the sheet. You should then hand that sheet to the member of staff who is observing the station, but please remain where you are. Some of the stations will require the staff to reset them. So we will need some time during this period to put stations back together ready for the next candidates. It's important to remember that during this time you are in a summative assessment, so this assessment counts towards your final grade. It may be tempting, but please don't talk to anybody in the lab. If you talk to anybody in the lab, you will have contravened examination regulations and you could be asked to leave.
Once the station has been reset, you will be asked to move to the next station. If you're confused at any stage of where to go, a member of staff will help you and guide you to the next station. When you get to the next station, you will hear the whistle again and you will have 5 minutes to complete the task. There are in total 5 stations in the scheme assessment, so the SChemEs test should take approximately an hour. Any student who has a study needs agreement and who requires extra time in the assessment need not worry. This has been accounted for in the SChemEs assessment and you will have the additional time required to complete the test.
We hope that you found this short video useful and that you're now clearer about what to expect in the SChemEs assessment.
We know that you'll do your best, so the very best of luck.